I come from Germany, and I come from the works on genealogy in Germany, and I find it important to bring this perspective to this delegation and to this conflict situation, because from a genealogical point of view, you can find so much about how to build peace, how to build a society that is connected and connected around a peace, a life in peace and equality, a life in freedom, and and I want to bring this perspective within this group that is a variety of different people with different backgrounds and experiences, and so it's a rich potential, and this feminist perspective is also part of it, and we can rely and refer to similar thoughts in discussions and organizing in the Kurdish areas, and so we really try to meet these people and refer to these thoughts of women's liberation that are already there and that are very important for us, for me personally.
Can you share some perspectives on what you've seen from the Kurds and especially the freedom struggle of the Kurdish women so far?
Excuse me, say again?
Can you share some perspectives on what you've seen from the Kurds and especially the freedom struggle of the Kurdish women so far?
I mean, we are in discussion, in contact, and cooperate with the Kurdish women in Europe, in our home countries, and also in our delegation we have Kurdish women and other Kurds who come from Europe and who joined us, and here we have met so many organizations by now, and also, for example, Shahid families, but also civil society structures, groups who work on ecology, political organizations, even who are in part of parliamentarians, but also part of the regional government. I mean, of the fractions of the government, and or unions. So we heard a lot already from these organizations, and we can see that most of them, I mean, all that we have met, the society, they really reject this aggression of Turkey, and so we are working on the same goal of stopping this invasion, stopping this aggression, making Turkey leave Kurdistan, and working together and don't letting be divided by this this war project of Turkey and this illegal military aggression. And so we experienced a lot this clear understanding of a fascist policy, of a policy that is against any form of democratization and women's rights and a free life of a joint society.
How did it feel for you to come to Federated Kurdistan? And do you think that the struggle of the Kurdish women sets an example for the world?
I mean, yes, the Kurdish women as an organized structure for many decades by now, they have such a strong knowledge and experience coming from the experience of the liberation struggle and an autonomous organizing of women within these structures, and genealogy actually comes from these experiences, and we can see that the women, as part of the whole movement, can work on a foundation that there is an understanding that without the liberation of women there cannot be a liberation of society, and so this is a very essential part of building up a united and free society without colonialism, without any form of domination, relations of domination. And so the women's movement, the Kurdish women's movement, is really a kind of role model, or like something we can really refer very positively to. And it's not only for us who are now here in the delegation, but or in Europe, in the solidarity groups or other democratic organizations that supporting us as a delegation now. But you can say it's even around the world, in Latin America, in Asia, in North America, in South Africa. We had a International Women's Conference in 2018, and from all parts of the world, women organizations participated and discussed together with the Kurdish women's movement. They had invited for this conference, and so it's really inspiring the struggles around the world and the need for finding a solution against this crisis we are in, the crisis of feminicide, the crisis of ecology, and so we really have to overcome patriarchy and capitalism.
What do you think awaits us in Bashur, and are you planning to be involved, or what do you think you can do to help?
Yeah. I mean, this aggression of Turkey it's really it's a danger, because if there is not a clear stand against it from all parts of Kurdistan and all organizations and all parties, and if they reach to divide the people, this is when they are, I mean, too successful and was creating undemocratic, violent, colonial situation, and nobody wants this. And so we really intervene strongly against this dividing, against this military attacks that cause suffering every day. They cause destruction of nature. They burn down the forests. It's really a catastrophe for the families, for like who lose their family members. It's a threat for a project of, I mean, for building a democratic life and a free life for everybody. And so we really try to be a part, together with all other organizations who are already active. Like we marched in the streets of Süleymaniye together with the civil society, the artists, the intellectuals, the youth of the local region. And so we try to be at their side and support with however we can, and with bringing what we hear here with all the discussions we have, bringing it to Europe, and where already also people are in the streets and trying to do their best. Like yesterday we had a declaration of artists, Kurdish artists in Europe, who also called that there's no brother war, that the young people don't have to shoot each other because they belong to Peshmerga or belong to guerrilla. And so we really have to stop this, and we want to be part of this, and that's why we are here.
What kinds of difficulties women are going through with the ongoing war? And as a woman, and with a perspective on genealogy, doing research on motherhood, what do you have to say about the situation in which brothers and sisters are driven in a war to kill each other?
I think you don't have to be a mother yourself to understand how, I mean, the suffering of seeing people shooting each other or not being able to solve their conflicts in dialogue, and not by power struggle and even by violent struggle, and by being divided from a fascist aggression from the outside, and so I think these mother values, they are still strong in this region where there was, or still you have this matriarchal roots visible within, for example, the goddess temples that are still there, or caves that are called by Ishtar, or mountains that have these female names, and there are, so we can take up this this old knowledge of caring, of nurturing life, of taking care of everybody and bringing people together and solving problems so that life can continue in an equal, non-violent, caring form of life without domination. And so this is what we really need to do, and so we know there's a lot of wisdom, particularly with mothers, and mothers is everybody who has this values alive.
So last question. What is your call to Kurdish women and women all around the world in this environment where international legal mechanisms do not work?
I mean, it's very clear that even you can find it in UN resolutions, like Security Council Resolution 1325 says you have to like women have to participate in peace processes to be successful and to also integrate the interests of girls and of women, and because usually, and this is still the situation even though there exists this resolution, that in all conflicts worldwide you can say it's male persons, like who are almost like above 90%, almost 100%, who do peace negotiations, and the result is often not successful. There are statistics even saying that if women and other parts of civil society also, or like if civil society, but particularly if women are part of peace processes, then they last longer. And that in a society where you have gender justice and where you are free to express your gender identity in a variety of forms, and it's not relying on some stereotypes and a repressive form of gender relations. In these societies you have less violence, and this is to both directions. It's inside society you have less violence, doing conflict in a violent way, and you have less violence with conflicts to the outside. So these countries who are more gender just have go less to war. So we know how important it is to bring this, to rely on women's rights, to fight patriarchy as a part of bringing peace, and not to let the conflict increase patriarchal behavior and patriarchal thinking, what usually happens. And if you just do this power struggle with this male mentality, this dominant male mentality, there cannot come out a good solution. So we try to rely to this idea that is and meet with the women here, with the organizations who have strong women within their structures, and strengthen it.